Guys are dropping left and right here in week 2 of the NFL season, perhaps none more notable than Nick Bosa and Saquon Barkley. Welcome back, everybody. I'm Dr. Brian Sutterer, and this is your #1 source for learning about this unique side of the medical world of sports. In this video, we're going to break down 2 major knee injuries in the NFL, Saquon Barkley and Nick Bosa. A little bit of different concern for each of them, but both certainly look like they could be major injuries for these guys. As always, if you enjoy learning about this unique side of sports, please consider subscribing to my channel, and be sure and follow me over on Twitter for more real-time breakdowns and analysis, and let's get started. Now, I'm recording this at a time when both players have been ruled out, but we haven't gotten any official word on the diagnosis yet. So we'll talk more through the mechanisms, look at the anatomy of the knee, and bring up some of the things that I'd be concerned about here. Let's look at Bosa's first. And remember, he's actually torn his ACL in his other knee a number of years ago, but now we're going to be focusing on his left knee. Keep an eye here on Bosa, and it's basically this moment here as he's kind of falling backwards. His left leg gets caught up underneath him, and right here where we get this excessive amount of twist in the knee because of how he's falling backwards and twisting is what looks to have injured his left knee now this time. He was able to get up right away, but then couldn't put any weight on that leg, and ultimately the card had to come and take him off the field. The problem here was Bosa's going down as his left foot is basically stuck into the ground, but he's falling backwards while being twisted because of this defender's weight. So as he's twisting here, his foot is anchored, and all that twist gets translated up through his knee and into his hip, making the knee very susceptible to getting injured. Now, if you look here, he does actually have a little bit of twist and inversion down at his ankle, so an ankle injury is also something to consider here, but definitely worried most about the knee. We'll talk about what I'd be concerned of here in the anatomy, but first let's take a look at Saquon Barkley's because it's a different looking mechanism, but raises the same concern. So now with Barkley, as he's running out towards the edge, right there where his right leg plants into the ground, is the concerning moment here for the injury to his right knee. And you can kind of appreciate a little bit from this kind of posterior angle from behind him, how that knee looks like it's kind of falling inward a little bit. And we'll look at a different angle where we can see that even better. So again, here as he's running, boom, steps and plants with that right leg. We can see the knee just ever so slightly shift inward a little bit. And then of course he goes down to the ground. From this kind of side shot, we can get a little bit better picture of that position of the right knee. So keep an eye here on his right knee. As we advance through this clip here, look at when his right leg plants right there. You can kind of see how there's this little bit of rotation of his upper thigh in relation to his lower leg. A little tough to see, but if you kind of look here, boom, right there, his thigh sort of rotates inward as that knee collapses in. One more shot now from head on. Again, he plants with that right knee, and you can see even again from this upper angle, if we zoom in, how that right knee is just collapsing inward here whenever he makes contact and causing that twisting as well within the knee. Next, we'll look at our anatomy and talk about the concerning injuries here, but first I want to give a quick shout out to the sponsor of this video. Today's video is sponsored by Magic Spoon, the healthy cereal that's made for adults but tastes like it was made for kids. Growing up, I absolutely loved having that super sweet, sugary cereal for breakfast in the morning, but now as a doctor and somebody who exercises a lot, I understand the importance of putting good, healthy food inside your body, but I want to eat my cereal. Thankfully, there's Magic Spoon. With 0 grams of sugar, 11 grams of protein, and only 3 net carbs, at just 110 calories, is something you can enjoy, but also is healthy. It comes in 4 flavors, including cocoa, fruity, frosted, and blueberry, and you can try them all in a variety pack today. It's keto-friendly, gluten-free, grain-free, soy-free, low-carb, and GMO-free. Use the link below to head over to magicspoon.com/BrianMD and pick up a variety pack and get free shipping on your order and their 100% happiness guarantee. That's right, if you don't like it, you can get your money back, no questions asked. So don't give up on your delicious cereal just because you're getting older. Start eating something that's healthy for you and also delicious. Thanks again to Magic Spoon for sponsoring the video, and let's get back to our learning. Now, quick anatomy review to make sure you guys understand the structures we're talking about as it relates to these 2 knee injuries. This is a right knee that we're looking at head on. So we have the femur, the thigh bone up top, we have the tibia, the shin bone, and then the fibula on the outside. This ligament on the outside of the knee is our LCL. The ligament on the inside of the knee here is going to be the MCL. And then just through the front, you can see a little bit of the ACL. If we flip the knee around to the back, now we can see more of that ACL and we can see the PCL. Deep inside the knee, of course, we have our medial meniscus and our lateral meniscus. If I get rid here of our femur, we can see these even a little bit better kind of now from a top-down view. So again here, we've got MCL on the inside, LCL on the outside. We have our two menisci within the knee, and then we have our ACL kind of running from the front of the tibia to the back of the femur, and then our PCL here in the back. Certainly here with Bosa's injury first, anytime we see a knee get twisted like this, especially as a guy is falling backwards on it, we worry about an injury to the ACL. This isn't the exact classic mechanism of an ACL tear though. That really is going to be more what we see in Barkley. But still, whenever we see that twisting of the knee, we worry about the ACL. If you look at the anatomy here, you can tell how the ACL runs at a little bit of an angle within the knee. And so when you twist those two bones relative to one another, or they collapse on one another, you're gonna get twisting and strain on that ACL. So again, as we advance through this clip with Bosa, he's doing okay right up until about this point. But because the momentum of his upper body is pulling him to the right, his right foot is stuck on the ground, all that twist gets imparted through his knee right in this position. Now about here, you can see that his lower leg is going to be a little bit internally rotated because his toes are pointing in relative to his femur. And so again, that twisting, concern for possible injury inside the knee. The other thing we have to worry about is a meniscus tear from this position, because those menisci are getting basically pinched, and especially when the knee is bent or flexed like it is here with Bosa, you put more strain on the two menisci, especially kind of the back half or the back portion of the meniscus. So in this position, Bosa's knee is flexed, putting more compression on the meniscus, and then that twisting can cause some shearing of the meniscus and possible meniscus tear. Now we will also see when guys fall backwards on their knees like this and twist, just more isolated MCL or LCL injuries depending on the exact scenario. So certainly keep an update here with Bosa in terms of what the MRI will show on his knee, but definitely would be concerned about another potentially season-ending knee injury for Bosa. Now, when we look at Barkley's injury, this is a little bit more classic of the fear for an ACL tear. This position here, when Barkley plants and that right knee kind of pivots and falls inward, we call that a dynamic knee valgus. That dynamic knee valgus is what claims so many non-contact ACL injuries and would certainly be one of the concerns here with Barkley in this position. Essentially, when the knee caves inward like this, you get additional stretching on that ACL, which can cause it to tear. The big piece of this with Barkley is based on the positioning of his foot here in relation to his knee as he's getting knocked out to the side. So here as he plants, really if Barkley had been able to kind of shift his lower body a little bit to kind of be more in the direction of the hit from the defender, he's not going to get all that twisting imparted down through his right knee here like we see on this specific position. The other thing to think about here with Barkley as he plants is that little bit of shift where the knee kind of falls inward like this can also stress your MCL more specifically and cause an MCL injury. That would definitely be a much better case scenario for Barkley. We just have to see what happens. So two different looking knee injuries, but concerning mechanisms both for possible ACL injury. Barkley a little bit more classic, Bosa a little bit less so, a little bit more concerned for something like a meniscus tear, but we just have to see. Both of these guys have been ruled out. Certainly MRIs are coming. Maybe they've avoided serious injury, I really hope so, but just based on our anatomy, based on the position here, that's definitely gonna be the fear. So I hope you guys learned something in this video. Thanks as always for watching. Let me know any questions or comments down below. And until next time, we'll see you later.